For over 6 years I have been audaciously promoting yoga for jiu-jitsu, and I keep saying that yoga is one of the best things you can do to improve your jiu-jitsu, and unfortunately most people don't take my word for it. It would be so much more efficient for me if I can just say, if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, get good at yoga, and everybody would listen and everybody would do yoga. Unfortunately, I will have to try to convince you by using our old trusted friends logic and reason. So today I would like to talk about the side plank. I'll show it first. Side plank. What the hell does this have to do with jiu-jitsu? This is probably the question on most people's minds, and when we see a yoga practice, it doesn't really look at first glance like it has anything to do with jiu-jitsu, but I am here to tell you otherwise. Example: I am playing top, my imaginary opponent has half guard, and my opponent is going for an underhook on my near arm. In order to defend the underhook, my first option would not be to overhook and grab the gi. That would be a second or a third option. My first option to stop the underhook is to crunch my side, stretch my other side, and turn my elbow in. So if the underhook is on this side, I would do this. And this is something you do a lot in jiu-jitsu without thinking about it. I'm just taking this as a very obvious example. If I want to stop the underhook, I don't block it with my hand. That would never work. I block it with my whole frame, and using muscles that are extremely powerful. These muscles are very, very strong, and unfortunately they're very strong on the other side too, and usually when they're strong they're also stiff. So if I want to be really strong in this side, I would have to be flexible on this side, and that is why doing motions like this repeatedly over and over will improve the strength and the flexibility without adding any weight. You don't have to lift heavy weights in order to get stronger in these muscles. You can, because these muscles are different from your quads or your biceps. These are small stabilizing muscles that are working every day, as long as you don't sit on your butt all day. But they are working whenever you're doing an activity, and just doing stuff like we're going to do in side plank is going to increase the strength and endurance of those muscles. So we have the side muscles, flexible and strong. Elbows in. When I was in Brazil many years ago, one of the old guys there told me a thing he always tells beginners in jiu-jitsu. This is a white belt, this is a blue belt, this is a purple belt, this is a brown belt, and this is a black belt. And what he means by that is the more you get smashed, the more you get beaten up, the more you will learn to hug your elbows in, to close the space and give your opponent less options. The more separated your arms is from your body, the more vulnerable the thing that is separated is. So if your legs are extended far away, it's easy to footlock. If your arms are extended away from your body, it's easy to arm lock. So by hugging your elbows in, you limit your opponent's options. What happens when we pull the elbow in is not just activating lats. We're not just like preventing the chicken wing. We are also turning the shoulder blade back into turning the shoulder blade from being on our side to being on our back. And this is exactly what happens when we're doing a side plank. So I would never do a side plank with my elbow flaring out. I feel like I'm gonna get injured just by showing you how not to do it. So the fingers are turning out, the biceps are turning away from me, and the elbow is turning against my hips. And I'm not using any muscles in the arms to do this. It's all happening in my back. I'm turning my shoulder from an internal to an external position when I'm doing side plank. If I'm teaching a yoga class and someone is new to class, I can tell that they're new because they're doing side plank like this. they don't activate the side and they don't pull the shoulder back. Most people have a good connection with the front of their body, but since we never see or can touch the back of our body, we have less of a connection back there. So this is one of the basic fundamental things in Jiu-Jitsu that you want to learn. Crunch the side, turn the shoulder back. This is good structural integrity. If you were to put a kettlebell, why not do it? Give me a second. This is a 16 kilo kettlebell. If I were to lift the kettlebell in this position, you could probably put more kettlebells here because I feel very, very strong. I feel strongly aligned in my joints. If I were to collapse and do something like this, I would not want a 16 kilo kettlebell on top of me because something would break or be strained. So inside plank, we activate the bottom, stretch the top and hug the shoulder in. You have many other options than just doing a straight up side plank. I like stretching my arm like this to get more leverage on my ribs and intercostals. A twist can also be really, really nice, that you open up like this so that you put the shoulder in a even more, you put the shoulder consciously in a more vulnerable position to make it stronger there. Because let's take another example. We're going from half guard to, let's say my imaginary opponent gets up to all fours and smashes my knees together for a smash pass or a double leg. I was just taken down by a double leg and I'm in this position. Okay? If he lifts his hips and pushes my hips down, pinning my hips, I don't have many options. I can't move my hips when he has all the weight on them. So I want weight off of the mat. I want to lift my hips up off the floor so that I can move my hips. As soon as I can move my hips, I have more options. Maybe I can hip escape, maybe I can turn the hips, maybe I can lift the hips and come up. The hips have to come off the ground. And if he's holding my knees and my feet are in the ground, that's good. If he lifts my feet, it's going to be very, very hard. But let's say he's just smashing my knees and my hips. Would I ever turn my fingers inward here and try to lift the hips off the ground? If I have 80, 90, 100 kilos pushing down here, I am not going to be able to lift my hips because there are many weak links in this chain. The wrist feels bad, the elbow feels bad, and I can't really use these muscles to lift me up. I need these strong side muscles to get up off the floor. I need structural integrity, and by doing this, I can lift my hips. In a yoga class, in a yoga for BJJ class, I would add poses like this. We would do a plank, do a low push-up, come into side plank, stretch up, lower all the way down into a bad position, so we get used to that too. We don't want to, what I mean by that is we're not trying to get used mentally to being in bad positions. We try to get comfortable there so that if we get put in them, we don't get injured. But we don't try to stay there for long. As soon as we go into a bad position, we reactivate, we do it correctly, we go into a really vulnerable position, get comfortable there for a second, and then activate everything again, boom. Okay, so this is one out of thousands of examples in how we can use yoga to improve our proprioception, which means how we feel our body. If I were to cut away some of your senses, like your smell, your taste, your ear, your hearing, your eyes, you would still have proprioception. You would still have a feeling of where your body is in space. And yoga is the most efficient tool to improve your proprioception. Also, you will get more flexible, stronger, have better balance, etc. But this, if you start doing side planks every day, I guarantee you, I challenge you, that if your jiu-jitsu is not improved, you are probably doing the side plank incorrectly. So if you need help with me teaching you side plank and every other pose that you need to improve your jiu-jitsu, check out the website yogaforbjj.net. to train yoga with me there. I can guarantee results with a consistent practice. Great results with great consistency. Thank you for watching. Comment below what you wish the next video should be about, this kind of concept video should be about. Should it be about the knees, the hips, a certain jiu-jitsu position? Please go ahead and challenge me on how yoga is directly related to jiu-jitsu in every possible way. Have a nice day. See you soon.